I do know that we are a country full of caged birds that need to be able to sing. But that issue of "And Still I Rise" is what keeps me going today in the nation's capital. And I don't know how many of you live in D.C., in the nation's capital. So do you know we have the highest level of concentrated poverty of any city in the country? Do you know that? Do you know that we, slightly more than 500,000 people population, 220,000 depend on public money for their health care? It's an abomination. I'm in a church, so I can use that word. The average life expectancy for an African American male in the District of Columbia is 56 and a half. That's worse than Haiti, folks. This is the nation.
As far as community organizing, they need to finish organizing the DC jobs, because they want us to try get it working, try working stuff, but they messing up our paychecks when we go to work. That's why they see everybody else, all the kids out here hustling, because they not paying us our money, so we gotta get our money.
Yeah, community things for the youth, you need to organize it very well. Instead of saying, oh, you go to the recreation center and you just go play basketball all day. No, community organizing means that going to a recreation center, actually getting involved with the youth and getting involved with the adults by doing things that the youth like today. They always stereotype young black males these days. They always say, just because they got the tattoos or just because they got, their pants hanging off the behind, they always think that we supposed to be gangster or we, threatening to like the white folks. I feel as though that we're the generation of tomorrow. So, real, y'all really need us to, stand up here and do what's right. So, that's all I gotta say.
What's going on? It's Emil. What you're about to see is my artistic representation on community organizing, what it is, why is it important, some people that's doing it in Washington, D.C., and how you should get involved.
Really about talking with regular people about the issues that are facing them and getting them to realize that the solution is not a solution that they deal with by themselves, but it's got to be a solution that they work with other people around. And that's what community organizing is. There's no mystery to it. Well, in some ways, what actually you and I are doing right now, that is having a discussion between black youth and people that are older that have been doing community organizing or labor organizing, and have a discussion about what's involved, how you go about doing it, why. I mean, it really starts with a discussion. And then the second part of it is black youth talking among themselves with their friends and colleagues, about, well, what are some of the issues that we need to be getting together to address? For example, should we be getting together to address crime? And how do we do it? When I was younger, there was a lot more organizing going on, and it was being done by young black folks. And now we're just talking about black folks in this interview right now, realistically. And what's happened over time is that a lot of the organizations that were doing community organizing, many of them collapsed. Many were destroyed by police agents. And what happened over time is that a disconnect, as you were saying, developed between those people that were organizing and a lot of black youth. And black youth stopped thinking about organizing as a legitimate thing to do. People would get into gangs sometimes. They would go in terms of doing their own individual thing. But there was less and less attention to, let's join together as members of our community and fight to change the community. And community organizing could be any number of things. It can be fighting for jobs. It can be fighting for better housing. It can be fighting to change the school system. But there was less and less of that.
Now I'm about to introduce Amy and Regina. These are two ladies who are responsible for organizing to get Dunbar track and field together.
Did not have any renovations for like 30 years. And at the time, I was track coaching some elementary school kids about a couple of blocks from here, and we would come over here for practice because this was the closest that we could get to an actual field, and it was raggedy. The homeless people lived up here in the bleachers. We would come, we would find like fake hair all over the place, all kinds of articles of food, sometimes feces, large patches, open up in the field. DC public schools, other private organizations like WIN to help us organize the struggle. You also have alumni from some of the schools that were getting involved.
I would add, this is the oldest African American high school in the country. It used to be the kind of place where if you walked in the doors, you were going to college. Your teachers would be PhDs, you know, and professor quality. And you know, when Ms. Shorter brought us over to the field, there were holes in the field. You know, holes in the track. It was condemned. So the government cared enough to come out and condemn the track so that black kids couldn't use it, but they didn't care enough to fix it up.
Okay.
And it took, you know, and the showers hadn't worked since 1976. The carpet hadn't been changed since 1976. That's the year I was born, right? And I'm 32 years old. So what was that saying about how the city valued black youth in the city? I mean, it was saying that they didn't value them enough to, you know, fix the track and give them a quality place. Bringing people together and saying, you know what, I value kids more than this, I value myself more than this, and bringing people together. And, you know, she brought together 10 people. Those 10 people brought together more people. So then, you know, we had a team of about 100. She brought in her church. She brought in the other churches in the city. She brought together the team of coaches and the parents. And then, you know, with that amount of people, you could do something. Other than just feel bad about the situation, you can demand something. You know, 100 people working together and not letting go to get the new field. And so those people showed love for, you know, themselves and for young people. Young people showed love for themselves by standing up and pushing. And that's how they got $27 million in renovations. So organizing, you get out what you put in. So, you know, an iron rule of organizing is don't do for others what they can do for themselves. So it's up to young people.
I will have hoped that I inspired people to keep fighting and help to build organizations that people can join that help.
To have a voice in it all.
Generation of tomorrow.
This was not organized.
Red line, orange line, blue line, Benning Road, South Side, feel me, Southern Avenue, feel me, you got the Minnesota boys, what's good, lift them up boys, you got one dude, you got Fuck Line over there, my man.
Yo, film me real quick, huh? One track man? You know what I'm saying? But you talking from your experience, what you
From your experience. But everything, the way you think is from what? Your personal